In today's adventure, 3 450 MTs take on the legendary Bridle Track. We will ride along the river and the cliff edges, carve through the sweeping mountain paths, and blast through this historical trail side by side. With the whole 12 hours in the saddle, a 600 km distance ahead, and 30-degree heat all packed in a single day, what could possibly go wrong? Welcome back. We are currently at Bridle Track, one of the best adventure trails that Sydney can offer. This one has been on my bucket list for a while now, and finally I got a chance to take my bike along with my mate to explore this legendary track. Really looking forward to it, and don't know what to expect, but it's gonna be a lot of fun. This was the last weekend before daylight saving began, and my last chance to tackle this 600 km day ride before the riding season was over. That meant a very early start, so I told everyone to get up early and meet at the start of Belllands Road.
Hey, look who's here.
We're at the petrol station in Richmond. Nixon is already there. We're just waiting for another guy to rock up.
What's your expectation for today?
Just have an easy, safe ride. Last time I did it 1200 GS. We almost couldn't start the bike after I dropped it. Hopefully this time it will be uneventful.
Given on what usually happens on our trip, this was probably going to be a high ask. After spending a very long time unsuccessfully trying to pair our cardos, we finally got moving, heading for the Bridle Track, the holy grail of adventure riding near Sydney. There were two challenges today. The first was the distance. Bridle Track sits more than 250 kilometers west of Sydney, while the dirt section itself only around 50 kilometers. The ride to there and back makes for a serious long day, easily over 10 hours in the saddle. The second challenge was the weather. Although the morning was sunny, there was a high chance of shower later in the afternoon, and the mountain weather can always be unpredictable. The last thing I wanted was heavy rain turn the trail into mud, leaving us stranded halfway on the hill. We pushed through traffic, past Bathurst, and made our way toward the beginning of the Bridle Track. And eventually, we hit dirt.
I hope the road can be a little bit better. The corrugation is ruthless here. It's much worse than I remember last time.
We arrived at the warning sign at the start of the track. There were plenty of serious warning posts here, but to us, that was just a confirmation that we're about to have a lot of fun.
Alright, Bridle Track, let's begin. Last time I was here, I was on my Husqvarna 401. A lot of things changed since then.
What made today's riding even more interesting was all three of us was riding CFMOTO 450MT. None of our bike remain in the stock form. With me leading the way, I felt this is a perfect time to unleash the full potential of my ECU tuned and 15-tooth sprocket. The Bridle Track is one of the New South Wales' most iconic adventure routes. Originally established during the gold rush in the 19th century.
So Bridle Track was closed for at least more than a decade due to a large hillslide, which was now repaired, and they built a bypass around it. Honestly, the track condition is pretty good. On the straight line, there's no corrugation, and after I lower the tire pressure, the bike handling this type of terrain no problem. It would be nice just to come back someday for camping. Like, this campground is pretty much empty. There's no one camped here. That's it. Much faster than from my memory.
We arrive at the first true gatekeeper of the trail, Monaghan's Bluff. This newly opened section replaced the original mountain pass, which was destroyed in a landslide over a decade ago. The new route has a serious climb with tight hairpins that make it both exciting and intimidating. So Nixon started first. Well, I think he certainly played it safe. Eric attacked the hill with a completely different approach. After watching both of my mates make it to the top, it was finally my turn. And how should I tackle this one?
Alright, Monaghan Bluff. It was a piece of cake on my Husqvarna. I think it's only gonna be easier with 450 MT. Let's give it a go. Whoa, be rough. Probably drop to first gear. Probably easier if I go this. Yeah, sitting is much easier. Oh, can feel the rear wheel spinning. All right. Okay, I overdid it. Oh, come on. Why are you out about? You want a race or something? Gonna stop here, take some shots. You can actually see the old pass over there.
The original Monaghan's Bluff was the Bridle Track's most dramatic landmarks. Hand-carved in 1800s, it hugged the sandstone cliffs high above the Macquarie River. The views were breathtaking. While the new bypass is much easier to ride, it does lose a bit of the sense of adventure.
The new pathway is much easier. The road is wide and open, nicely compact. The only problem is there's so many loose gravel.
We continue on. After the bluff, the track followed the river for another 20 km.
That's my cue. little airtime, I think. That's definitely some airtime. Water is a bit muddy, probably because of the rain. Oh, be careful on this. I wouldn't want to go down there.
Today was the perfect chance to really test the limit of my setup. With only 2-roll and camera gear, my bike felt incredibly light and agile. Losing all that camping weight completely transformed the bike.
This is so nice. Look at that.
Before long, we start to climb again and meet a large group of riders heading another way.
It's a full-on rally today. There's so many bikes. Whoa. Can't see anything. Oh, I think I bottomed out.
With a long drop on the left and oncoming traffic around blank corners, it's probably a good idea for me to slow things down.
Really, you can jump on this road. This is so nice. Wow! What a fun ride!
Bridle Track is famous for a reason. It follows the Macquarie River through steep cliff, dense bushland, and deep valleys, with stunning view around nearly every corner. For adventure riders and a 4x4 driver, it holds a special place. It has a rich history, challenging terrain, and spectacular scenery. To me, and probably many other adventure riders, it's one of the best riding destinations within reach of the city in one day. The last few kilometers of the ride are steep, cliff on one side and a seriously drop on another. This road demands attention. I just have to keep the speed down, maintain my momentum, and trust the bike.
One key factor is make sure I'm in the right gear, because I remember I stalled last time when I was here. This is brilliant. 450 just singing on this road. I think that's the end of it. Ah, that's it. Done. Bridle Track finished.
Finally, we rode into Hill End, this small historical town at the northern end of the track. Hill End was founded in 1850s. Soon after, it became one of Australia's richest goldfields town. Over 1,000 people once lived and worked here, but today, less than hundreds remain. Only from those beautifully preserved buildings, you can still find the fascinating glimpse into the Australia's gold rush era. We stopped at the newly opened micro pub. We had some cold drinks and shared a laugh about those close calls we just had along the trail. This was exactly what the rides are all about. Since we're on the break, let me take this one as an opportunity to quickly introduce this new navigation unit I've been using for this trip. This is Ultralight C3. It has Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, as you can see from my video. This C3 is super compact and lightweight. It doesn't come standard with dashcam or tire pressure monitor. That's why it's selling so cheap. If you're only after a simple setup without all the bell and whistle, this one is probably the right one to get. I'll put a link in the comment section. Don't forget to use the discount code to grab a bargain. Now, let's back into the Bridle Track video.
It's 4 p.m. now. We are leaving Hill End and heading back. It's a lovely little town. I'm surprised there's only less than 100 people live here. This used to be a huge gold town. Now it's just a tourist destination. Just not much things going on.
Although Hill End itself is small, the surrounding scenery is absolutely worth the trip. We took the Silk Road toward Sofala, following through fast sweeping corners. This is where the 450MT's smooth engine really shines.
And this is why I love this bike so much. I can have so much fun on a trail like that, and I can still enjoy this twisty road without compromising or being uncomfortable. This is just amazing.
The day was still young, and my adventure spirit are still running high. At the next intersection, Nixon and Eric took the Silk Road back toward the Lithgow, and I turned onto the dirt, hoping to squeeze in one final adventure before the sunset. I thought the Bridle Track would be the biggest challenge of the day. I didn't expect this one coming. I turned onto Mount Horrible Road. Despite the name, the road and the scenery were anything but horrible. Cutting through the Turon region toward the Dark Corner, this road has some fast, compact dirt road and beautiful sweeping corners. Riding on this kind of road is very easy to get carried away. Eventually, I reached the Dark Corner. Only then did I finally notice the sky.
Right. So, Capti turn left, Dark Corner Road turn right. And I have to say, now that's a dark corner.
Dark clouds were building rapidly on the horizon, not exactly the ideal condition to finish the day. On the plus side, at least there was still some daylight left, and the farmland rolling across the hill looks more beautiful than ever.
Oh, whoa. Okay. Okay. You guys go first. Oh no, look at that thing. Now it's a dark corner indeed.
I stopped in the open clearing, trying to figure out what to do next. I've made to the dark corner and the wind picked up. It was hauling rain. I see branches falling down from the tree, and because there's a mountain on the right side, it's sort of like blocking the wind, so it's a little bit peaceful in this valley. But man, this weather changed so quick. I still have a little bit of ride to do. Fingers crossed the rain will hold up. It won't rain on me for the next hour of ride on the dirt road. We'll see. The darkness coming in quickly. This is the calm before the storm.
Most likely gonna run into the storm. Doesn't matter.
I knew I can't keep myself dry for the rest of the ride, but honestly, I wasn't so worried. After all those trips I had, I've learned the changing weather conditions are just simply part of the journey. And sometimes they do make the scenery even better.
I think this is the last stretch. Should be very close getting out from here. Alright, that's done. Back on the Seal Road. That wasn't too bad, isn't it? That's Sandy Corner State Forest.
The pine forest looks darker, moodier, and somehow even more magnificent beneath the stormy cloud. I pushed through the final section, rejoined the main road, and headed for Let's Go. Then the sky finally opened, and once again, I found myself riding through the rain. I had such fun time at the Bridle Track, and my 450 MT performed brilliantly. I never once felt the 15-tooth sprocket was a disadvantage. It climbed beautifully, and on the sealed section, it made the ride far more comfortable. And this ride proved to me just how well this bike has turned out, a truly capable adventure machine. I arrived in Let's Go just before the last light faded, and that marked the end of another incredible adventure. Nixon and Eric had only arrived about 15 minutes earlier than me, and it turned out all of us got caught in the storm. I've made to Let's Go, but it's completely dark now. Stopped at Macca's to finish the day. Oh, it has been 12 hours of riding trip. I think I ride roughly 600k for today, but unsurprisingly, I caught up in the storm once again. It seems like every time I come here, I just can't avoid getting rained on. Now I need to get something to eat and head back home. It's gonna be a very long, very cold, and very dark ride. Alright, got this. It ain't much, but it's gonna be a game changer for my ride all the way home. So those gloves, they are not waterproof and they are pretty cold to ride evening like this. Wearing this underneath will make my hand a bit warmer and make the ride a little bit bearable. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Ciao.